morning, coming to you live, 0900 hours, 1 minute, and August 7th, 2018 on a Friday. And the, the title I had put was Logic versus Tradition. You cannot change a cursed mind. I say cursed because we all know if you ask a person a good age, 19, 20, 21, who is instructional purpose? I say God. A lot of people be like a higher power person that 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 created the earth. But that's like their fundamental knowledge. Should his name is fundamental knowledge or logic fundamental or basic. But okay, logic versus tradition. What I learned like so far in my 35 years of life, people would say the word believe, or we just use word and the text, the language, the relations, the translations we're using it. We come up with all these different forms, but nobody actually goes back and study the word. Like last night we was talking, somebody said something, and I was like, "Oh wow, they actually said that." And here we go again. And I'm baffled by this. It was a white person, and I'm sitting, and when you and the reason I have this I can't say ability or power, but if I'm studying words and somebody keep and people like, yo, man, change interchangeable. Like I was studying like words and interchangeable came up and I looked at the definition of like where change derived from inner and because you can break down the word like the words are compounded together, they're suffix, it's a prefix, a suffix, then it's the fix me to put together. And it's no change in it. But that's not the truth because if I put words, there's a lot of change in where the words derived and came from. So that's why I don't like the word fix anymore. I don't like the word nice or like. If you look up where these words are deriving from, then you will start understanding it don't sound crazy. It'll be weird to you, like, okay, it's hard not to use the word like or yeah. Like yeah, YEA. Maybe that with the H and they added the H to throw you off. And YAM, yam, and thought about ham. And I think 'cause I started because this sounds crazy to people because people are sitting here like you was literally nitpicking the word. I'm not, but this is how they created word. Just like when the creator, how a lot of us, like the creator of what we call God, he said, we're giving you dominion over the land, but we would say that this is the devil realm or domain. He works in this area, this domain. But the creator said, this is not my domain. I helped create it, but this is your domain. I gave you power of. So when you're on this land, this is your land. But why is it that it was a land full of people where I live at now? They're not controlling this land. They're not even in control. Why are they not owning this land? People say, well, they probably are. No, you can't say they all Jewish. All there's no such thing as just all people of one race. I would never seen they've been colonized to look maybe a darker or a lighter or with green eyes, blonde hair, whatever, because of the colonized your genes, the nucleus of you, because the man's seed, it goes into the egg and it breaks off. It has to disperse and go. It has to create. And that's the power we can't understand how that little sperm can go into an egg and create a person that looks just like the other person. See, that's called creation. That's why I call him the creator, because it's like, how do you explain that? But in the aftermath of these words, like the word, and yes, the white person told me, like, I was like, wow, you just said that. Like it baffled my mind. It's like, is they just saying this, or they just connecting on the level, like, because I'm opening up my eye, like to me, people can say it's funny. You can say you don't believe it. I don't have like a third eye, whatever that's supposed to be. I don't study into all that. I'm not there yet. And I was reading it. It do sound scary because it's foreign. Just like voodoo. Voodoo, like they named it the word and they said this is foreign. But when it's foreign, we call it evil. but we didn't call people that was foreign evil because we was practicing and living a great life. We had a good culture. How you convince me to come into my home and then tell me you're welcome, and then you trade on me, and then we don't kill you, but you kill my family, you rape my sister, you take my daughter, you take my women, you change them, and tell me here you go, have them back. I was like, what I'm gonna do with them? You just killed them. And the word I was using in my live yesterday, in like the kill, you literally that word gonna come back to me. You killed my family, and then you brought them back to me. You convinced them that this is what it is, but they already had what we already had what we needed. Not so much the Adam and the Eve. She ate the apple. The creator's letting know we had what we needed. It's not that I didn't want you to go to this tree. You had what you needed. This tree, I was using this tree for a reason, and he would have most likely gave us a reason after a while. And then one thing I noticed, he said, if you ask, you will receive. So if you say if you ask, if I'm asking you, that's mean permission. And how many times you ask for permission? How many times do you get an answer right away? How many times you got an answer within a year? I asked my mother for asked her for permission for something before. It took her 2 months, but I was okay with the 2 months because it wasn't like it's like, can I have a bowl of cereal? Why a cereal and milk in there? Can I have $1,000 where she may not have $1,000? It might take a while to get an answer because some answers you don't have to answer right away. Sometimes it do take a thought to answer. Sometimes it do take a logic. So when I go logic versus spiritual, we're gonna keep the curse we in. We're gonna say, and and what we're noticing is deflection when I speak. People go to a logic they understand. I try to stay on their logic, but it's hard because I'll be like, sorry, your logic is kind of leaving the conversation. Like I said, I know of the creator. I don't call him God. Why you call him God? And I won't explain. And a lot of people, I now explain to them what God is. They just sit there. But then they come up, they in their head. It's like they trying to counter in their head instead of just, I'm listening that you saying. I'm not saying I don't believe it. You say Jesus, so I say, no, that's another man. That's my brother. My brother said we do greater works than him. So why would I have any inclination of me not being him being my brother? When if I read everything, he sounds like my brother to me. He's not my savior. He didn't save me. That means I can do what he can do. But somehow we got the phantom that he's so much greater and better than us when he never even said that. The creator never said that, even in the spirit. So it's like, where's we getting this from? And the only thing I can actually like a real conclusion is that it is fostered and nurtured into us just to believe based on we are bred BREED. Like if I make love to a woman and she call herself a Christian, most likely our child gonna and I say I'm a Christian or he a Muslim. Most likely my child's gonna have that iniquity. She's gonna take on what we take on because we brung her in him or her into this bondage we in, this binding, these restrictions, these limits. People be saying God has no limit, but when you look at godly people, they put limits on themselves. It's like how she can do it because she's doing dirt. No, because she's just doing. She's working in her ability and power. None of them want to believe that, but they don't know that because it's traditionally taught. Like Jehovah, like, well, I'm doing this. Well, I don't do that. They don't use the blood because I studied the blood and I learned the blood is dirty. Ask any doctor about how clean the blood. You gotta remember, the blood cannot be clean because they said by the blood I am clean. No, the water. The other part we forget, it was water that cleansed us, not the blood. Because if you think about it, this is why and I don't know. Someone keep telling me it's a scripture and I can't find it. Please show me a scripture. I brought up another scripture that's not things that we do and say that's in the Bible, that's supposed to be in the Bible, or all our literatures throughout our whole, like this, not even just the Bible. Just go look up everything that's spiritual, that's supposed to be spiritual. There is not one understanding saying logic is bad. Because that's like saying, okay, if you throw away logic, that means you got to throw away your creator. because it's like he give you ideas. He said, if I sit still, what will happen? If you sit still right now and don't move, what will happen? You nothing. But I know watching people sit there still and sit on their butt, they get sores. Being in the healthcare have shown me so much. And it's beyond just like, man, it's beyond spiritual. And some people don't get it because within the logic, I'm looking at these people, I was like, it's not that they was doing their parents wrong or their parents did their children wrong. A lot of people don't have people. I'm sitting there talking to this man, and he was an older Caucasian man. He's 95. I think that's what the RN said because I really don't. I read their care plans, but not so much their because they're in a rehab, so it's not like a book. When I go to a second or third floor, I can read a book about the person. He's talking about he was a boss and he hired people. He said, 90% of my people were. I don't know why he said this to me. No, I do. Oh yes, I do know why. And they were black. And he talked about work ethic. He's like a lot of them didn't work, but he said it was a few, but this one guy he took up for him because he was getting blamed for not having the job done at certain times. Like he had a project, but you can't really force people because you know how I keep noticing black people quote unquote use the word black. We don't like to work. We make excuses, but then a lot of people I don't like people don't have excuses because it's kind of hard when you go to school, you go to the interview. People are like, what did you do to the interview? Just like, how much more can a person say or do? Unlike the other person, he stood tall, he was confident. But just like some people said, I sing different in you. I didn't. It's not that I didn't see different in him, but I liked you. So you can't be around the fact that you was liked more, and there's nothing wrong. That's why I say even in a relationship, when the women don't like me, I can't beat the facts. I don't care what was bred, nurtured, fostered to her. She liked him more. So, and I can't say that's all truth because it's guys like me. That's not the. I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna lie. I know I am handsome to myself, but to women, I may not be the best looking. I don't have the muscles. I don't have that swag, that character, personality that my younger brother or my two friends that's married can have, or that's guys that's hood, or guys that's not hood, that's in the corporate world. I may not have that. So to those women or the women I come across that they can get, I may not be, and this is being logical. This is why I tell women I'm not hurt and bitter because you trying to take me, you're trying to just put me in a box. You putting me in a circle of a one way because that was your tradition. He's got to pay for all your food. That's your tradition. But you don't think about, okay, logically, if he's paying for my food, literally paying the tip, he's paying for out the gas, and I'm not paying for anything. It's like, what do he receive back? And it's like, well, my presence. So, and then we say, well, he think he entitled. But don't that make, and it's like, the same can go to say for her. Do you feel entitled? But you keep saying that's the tradition. And he keeps saying that's tradition by what? Value, morals, and ethics. What ethics is that he used all his money and and it's I'm gonna buy money because we make money so important. That's why I use money a lot. Women make that important a lot. Because women say stability mean his income, his money. Because first thing they can say, do he have a job? No, do he have a career, which means his profession? Do he see himself in 5 years? They don't really worry about like, damn, he treating me so damn good. And he do have a good job. It's a job. So what? Just for the time being, J-O-B, just the O and just of being. So for the time being, he got a job. What's wrong with having a job? Let's say he's been in the job for 10 years compared to a person that goes, skip. Come on, people say, I don't want to use your job understanding of your job to understand who you are. But I watch people if I'm looking for care, I would not date none of these CNAs or RNs. If I'm looking for good attitude, because people say I'm at work, that's why I act that way. No. You brought that in with you and you leaving that. Come on. This is not even logic. This is like spiritual as well. I should have put logic, spirit versus tradition can equal spiritual or could be into the spiritual. But it's by the curse. And that's a curse to me, just the phantom that I'm because women don't understand if that man is using his money to woo you, to court you, that don't justify like the dude kept saying he's a gentleman. Like that don't justify how much of a gentleman I am of opening the door into helping you cross the street or making sure that older lady looked good. I combed her hair. I don't know what hairstyles is. That don't show my care by how much money I spend on you. I don't know how come this is not punching people in the brain matter. Like, does that matter? And we get worked up, but it does matter to her. So I have to say it's legit. See how I went from logic to legit? I have to say that's legit to her. But is that the only thing she can use in her logic? Because if that's her logic, so what about when let's say like I told her, what if he spent all his money on you? He working good. He's working towards the future because future don't happen overnight. It don't happen. What you building don't happen overnight. But tradition, they keep saying, go to school, go to work. They can't take an education from you. No, you can't take the edge of education if they mean it in this way. You went out. They can't take that. You did work hard. But how did you work hard? That's where we come into now. How did you work hard? Did you just work this job? This job had no benefit. Well, if I work at McDonald's, I can go get a scholarship. They're giving out scholarships. And it's guaranteed to me based on their criteria. So it's not guaranteed to you based on the criteria, based on tradition. If you treat a woman good, you do have it. That's not guaranteed. And that's the one thing the creator don't promise you. The creator don't promise a lot. Like receiving wealth and rich. What is wealth and rich? To me, being wealthy and rich is being able to call your mother and father. That is rich. That is rich as can be. And rich is not money wise. Rich mean the abundance of wealth that have a lot of. I have a lot of time with my mother to call her. Let's say I call her in 2 weeks. But remember that time before I did call her? I checked in. Now I call her today. I'm like, Mom, I good talking to you. We have things to talk about. Oh, you doing good? I'm gonna come back. It's the wealth we don't appreciate the time as being rich. And people say, well, it's other things. But I'm trying to draw in the factor. Well, if it's other things, why is this one thing that got you tripping? One thing that got you tripping. Why is that so important? Why is that so important? It has to almost seem like a first. But you're going to say time don't matter. I had to take time off. I had to get ready. So if you're going to build a relationship, even going out with your guy friend, man, we going out. It's at 10 o'clock. You know you want to be there by 9:15. Because remember that 45 minutes go fast just sitting there. Then you can eat, you can talk, you reminisce. Where do that come into play? Besides me just spending my money on these tickets or spending money, when does that come into play? This is why I'm saying logic and tradition. Like you just zapped all the energy from him because he used it to get with you. But that could be ignored because you can easily say, and nobody want to like be truthful. I didn't like you because it's no beef. I'm cool with not liking me. But now they actually care about like, damn, he did just spend a lot of money on me. You're not obligated to that man or that woman, but have a heart to be like, damn, care. That's what y'all coming across off like we don't care. I came into healthcare and people like you really like why like you like really love this job. I'll tell people I really act like this away from work. I had a dude say, why the hell you smiling? I said, why the hell you not smiling? And I noticed, and I done the look. I do small research. I don't do big research because it don't take a lot. Because my researchers is watching you people. You people. If I'm doing a research on Asian or Japanese people, I'm in Buffalo. Asian people come. They might be Jewish, whether you want to call them Vietnamese. They're always in groups and packs, but it's not a racial group or pack. Because every once in a while, it's a black person, there's a white girl, and there's a white guy. He might like that man or that woman, or she might like that. It's like, but it's not, they don't feel that energy. I seen it a lot. The most recent time I was at the station, it was this Japanese guy. I don't know what they were saying to each other. He walked by, he was by himself. You can tell he just got to Buffalo, but he waited on the train. He knew how to operate the train because nobody's really new. He know just go this direction. He can get off here. He probably just got to find the streets. They walked up to him. I can tell they didn't know him because they was all shaking hands. Nice to meet you. And he was looking like, okay. Then it's like, y'all want to, it was basically, if I can understand in the spirit, it's like, you can hang out with us. Then I seen them again. I seen them like 3 more times, all hanging out. And I could tell they still had a little distance, but they didn't know him, but they was getting to know him. I don't know what they were saying in there in Japanese, or was it Chinese or Vietnamese or whatever it was. It was probably Japanese or Chinese because we see them more times than the Vietnamese and all, and they all more looked alike. So it's probably Japanese, or I want to say Japanese because they look more Japanese than anything. If they was Chinese, then that's my fault. And I was like, wow, they can do that. If I walk up to and it's not a comparison. It's like, why are you talking to me? Why are you doing this? But then when the person you like do it, it's no problem. So that's like, it's like, man, we don't realize what is really traditionally taught to us that really bother us. Because remember, I am solution. Everything I say is a solution to connect to another person. And I want to connect to people that's parents, people that's married people, understand me. And the young men and women. I always say, you talk to the people that have your bestest interest. I have your bestest interest, and until I'm proving it, because I don't have no, even in my descriptions I gotta work on. You see, I'm a working man. I'm working towards being better and improved. I don't have a GoFundMe. It's not a diss to nobody, a Patreon. But if I have that, it's they getting 5 or 10%. If I'm gonna do a charity, I'm gonna go direct and be like, and I'm gonna show you this is the paperwork. And I learned like paperwork is very important in the business days. So you open a business, keep all your receipts, track every little thing you do. It is very important when it comes to insurance or claims. Work ethic. That's part of work ethic is take and report. I remember studying. I didn't like to study. Now look at me now. And the studying that brought me to this was, I say, tradition. Like we call voodoo foreign. Why is voodoo foreign? Voodoo was part of the Western civilization. So in Western civilization, it was in Africa. It was part of in the Bohemi, Bahamas. Come on now. I looked this up and it's like, you've been lying to us. And if you look at pictures, they didn't have bones, and because all these tribes had piercings and tattoos and scarification. I just seen a video, a guy said tattoo is spiritual. It's been spiritual. They trying to take the image of the tattoo and try to compare it to the creator. We never made our tattoo our creator, our God. We didn't make our jewels. We didn't make kings and emperors our gods. They were a gods, but they was like, we praying to the God. That's why they did what they did. They didn't sacrifice. I don't know where the sacrifice came from. They didn't. And the creator keep telling me people did not sacrifice people. People was more maybe in some exile land after. That's why the story of Cain and Abel is not people. It's the spirit. Cain, Abel. Think about the word. Nobody want to. And this is hard because I'm trying to tell a woman, and like my friend Monica, I didn't say a lot. But she asked me about, you believe in Jesus? I was like, I don't believe I know, but I know if you're going to call him Jesus, his name was Jesus, and it was a one. And she was like, and a lot of things I tell people, they're like, it's like it courts their interest. It intrigues them because it's like, why is he getting this? And then people are like, I come up with things that the spirit give me and do vision and dreams. I just have older people like, I never looked at it that way. And I never heard that before. Like when I say you the greatest, there's no greatest of all time. When Isaiah Thomas said, he was like, there's no greatest of all time. Another guy, because we played in the era, and Isaiah Thomas, the basketball player who played for the Knicks, was like, because time's still going. So like if you're the greatest, if you're greater than me, how come I ran faster than you? So Isaiah Thomas went against the greatest player of all time that people call Michael Jordan. How come he beat Michael Jordan? See, nobody want to acknowledge that. But if you're the greatest, should you not have beat me? I cannot beat my creator. I'll put money on that. I will put some money on that. I cannot beat the creator that created us. Because he created me. He go, be gone. He take his breath and he blew breath into me. So women that say that I don't know what they're looking for when they go to it. But I know it's not logic. I know it's not true. Because true knowledge, they say the knowledge is power, but acknowledging is of power. You have to acknowledge that it exists. So to call voodoo foreign with no understanding, boo and do is the don to put on. So if we put on our belief in our knowing of the creator, why is it bad? They're like, oh, they do heads, they shrink heads. They wasn't shrinking heads until this day, and literally know those head like little monkey heads. So you telling me if you shrink my head, my teeth gonna change, my structure, no, it's just gonna shrink. No object is gonna change property when you shrink it. Like you if you ever shrunk, if you took put anything and you let it shrink, it didn't change property, it just got smaller. But what happened, the molecules and the bonding of the properties, it squeezed harder together. That's why it shrunk, because it was looser. Like the cotton bond of the cotton was a little loose. That's why I say wash it first. Get a size bigger, than wash it, because the bond is going to get closer. Because when you heat it up, it tightens. It don't restrict, it just tightens. The properties just seal a little closer together. And that's all we need. Wow, that was just a great revelation. Thank you. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, the spirit of the good spirit that I'm working. I'm not working in a lot of spirits people be working in, because they told me voodoo was wrong. But if the West African nation civilization of Bahama is Bahama is the word extracted from Bahama, and Bahamian, and they called it voodoo because they was Haitian and African, because it was foreign, because they was watching them. They wasn't doing nothing crazy. Because if you say praying is praying, that means when I prayed, in a prayer, you can do, I don't call, you see, I don't say the word blessings. I say praise. It's the uplift, the rise. Blessing is not, it's going to which direction you're going to use it. It's going to go for good or bad. So I say I hate her. I love it. Like, you know, people say I pray for you. I don't want you to pray for me because I don't know what you're praying for. I don't know the spirit that you're working under, because you can be working over, because you can be depressed and you praying for me. I don't want that spirit to come on to me while you're depressed. Nobody thinks about that. We have verbalized it, but nobody thinks about that. So if I'm being negative, and if a woman just see, wow, like you just argue a lot, that's all she's gonna see, because she's never gonna see me beyond my arguing, or he's gonna never see you beyond your attitude. So and so we are cursed in the tradition, because if you telling a young man this is what he should do, and it's 2018, and it's like that's not working no more, because that's not gonna really legitly make her, like, she should already. I asked a lot of women that is married. She was like, I genuinely like this guy. All the people that's married, my sister liked her husband. My husband, I talked to him. He said he didn't want to talk to her because he thought her attitude was a little weird. But he was like, I thought she was pretty. I thought she was attractive. So don't be going out there trying to find people. It is hard to get somebody that's not attracted to you to like you, because now you got to worry about, because they gonna tell somebody like, I like this one lady at the job. She's older, but you would never tell she looked better than some of the young women. I'm a little flirting with her, but I ain't saying nothing crazy like, hey, lovely, you look very beautiful today. And she'll smile and she'll try to ignore me. This is like Miss Nancy, because they around the same age. Tell him how old I am. He like me still a young man. I got a daughter close to his age. She had me cracking up. She's African, and she cool lady. I was like, and that's like, you can be persistent to a point where it's like, okay. Then now when I see her, I just say, hi, how you doing? I say Miss, her name. And he left at that, and she just looked at me. He's like, oh, he ain't doing the next thing. So it's like I respect it. I don't have to keep going. If a woman say, I got a boyfriend, I have women tell me that. I'm not mad that she said she had a boyfriend. I know you don't got a boyfriend. I'm not mad at you. Like, it is a form. It's not even a rejection, because you didn't do it before. Now if I keep coming at you, it is a rejection. But if I didn't, that was just you just subjected to not like what I was putting out. Cool, I'm okay with that. But don't diss and compare and we got to stop doing that, man. When you if you hurt by a woman, you just hurt. That hurt a little because it took you a while. Even though they're not going to acknowledge that it took you a while to talk to them. So stop worrying about it. Just like some men, women, they're not going to acknowledge it took you a while to talk to them. They're not gonna because they're not looking at it the same way you're looking at it because you're approaching them. Like I say to one girl, she didn't find it sis. So she said something. They was measuring booties. Like my booty big. You do your booty is the biggest booty because booty was the biggest in the white. Because one girl thinks she had the biggest booty, but then I was like, she said, like I don't know. I was like, yes, you do. That thing be jiggling. And every time she leave, I like, all right, Ebony, go ahead, Ebony. I don't say the word. Go ahead, Ebony. It's jiggling, baby. I had used that before, and she just smiled. And it's not sexual in her, and it's not as she taking it the wrong way. I'm like, all right, go ahead, Ebony. And she already know what I'm talking about. But if she found offense, believe me, Ebony, and I'm just using her. And it's funny, I wasn't trying to say her name, but because she was a black woman, sometimes we call them Ebony. And Ebony is actually a beautiful flower. It's highlighted as the greatest flower of them all. And I tried to explain that to her name, and I wasn't trying to say her name, but she was like, you could give me the black name that the black name in that area can give me. And hers with the Y, the other Ebony is with the IE. And I was like, that's funny. But at the time, we wasn't thinking when they heard Ebony, it wasn't a diss. Like Shaniqua wasn't a diss. It was a reason for the name. We thought it was a nice name. But we allow other cultures, just like we allow other people to say that our word, if we're gonna worship, give honor to and move forward to our creator, we allow them to say voodoo is evil. We allowed that to happen. So anything now, we allow them to make everything like our hurt. We allow them to say that hurt. It didn't hurt. It hurt a little, but the word hurt is not the correct word. It was just that she didn't go for what, and I don't have the word for it. But we need to like come with the logic of it. They wasn't thinking about that when they was approaching you. So in traditionally matters, like we would say, she's out of your league. What make her out of my league? Because of her beauty? That's out of my league. That means I can't try out or anything because of how pretty. I can't talk to her because that it gives the analogy that's a curse. That means you're basing it off beauty. So that's a curse. We're basing it off of money of how we even people that make millions of dollars. Do they want to interact with people that only make 30 $300 a week? They make 300 million a week. Let's say a person that make 300,000 a week. That shouldn't come off like that make you less than. Did y'all both work today? Y'all worked in a different way and had a different outlook, but that don't make you less or greater than. I still can be here to have a life with you and talk. We were like, well, we don't have the money conversation. Why can't I? I'll listen to seminars and webinars on the quarterly fiscal year of JP Morgan. I was taking notes. And I came across a lot. I just learned a lot. This is like one of my books. I'm gonna let you see where it say focus. And see, I write that stuff down. I write everything down. Where is one that recently I just invested in? JP Morgan, not a lot. It's like one share. But I invested one share because that's what I'm gonna get into. Like Shaq say, what he do, if he eat it, he invest in it. He eat an Oreo, he invest in it. And I write things down to go study. Oh yeah, and I was looking at this. Women's right in the Middle Eastern countries, women cannot receive all of the inheritance. It goes through the court in the country. That law was changed September 16, 2017 at 1000 hours and 24 minutes. So now Middle Eastern women in the Middle Eastern countries, they can receive all of their inheritance. And just like there's a Title IX in the USA for women, they finally was able to get scholarships and to get grants by law. So it's like they can receive their heritages as well, just like men. And then voting didn't happen to after 1966, 67, 68, 69. Because in 65, but by 67, they passed it that people of let's say black, because when they associate black people, they don't associate black people that's like Middle Eastern black or East Asian black or they call them Afro. So they don't bundle even them and Africans, they don't associate us with being African descent. They give us they I was told that they don't date black men in America. If they do, that mean like unless they just like that guy. They a lot of them is used to that. So in Africa, they used to being kidnapped and captured and murdered. And so when they come here, when they come to a city like Detroit, Chicago, the inner cities of these New York, Utah, California, their men is already doing that. So the attraction level is traditionally already given to them. So it's not, so it's yes, they're going to find those, but more so, a lot of them going to just stay away because they know they have kids. And a lot of people, and it's kind of hard to explain to people, when you have children already and a woman birthed a child, it's kind of is easier to see what type of man now. But it's like I ask a lot of women without so much hurt and pain, and it's tradition, and it's their logic. It's what they have, and it's not even no more logic. It's their emotions. Maybe they don't want to date a guy that don't have a certain income. Cool, I respect that, but they won't see a lot of things within that guy. But they're only going to see the income. So I'm just saying logic versus tradition. So you already putting together in your tradition now, you're going to pass it down to your daughter, like Stephen A. Jackson was a basketball player said he gave his daughter their dark skin like him. Everything. So what can a man prove to them? Well, I don't know how much respect he's like. So he's just showing his daughter. I'm just going by what he said, and it's a logical sense. No man's going to measure up to that because you just give them everything. Well, I don't know if his daughter's going to work. I don't know if she's going to be a good mother, good cook, and that's what I try to tell a lot of women about. I want like you want things from like mine is very simple. Like care about me. Show me that you can make one meal a day. Like, cause I can cook. I was like, she was like, that's what I want. I can do that. But the funny part is she want a man with a house, but she don't have a house. I learned that she was paying for a house that's owned by her mother. Her mother's gonna move out eventually. And she wasn't gonna give her the house, the deed and everything. Like, that's cool. That's not your house. But if you get married and meet a guy, they're gonna have a house and most likely use it for being a landlord. She's gonna sell it. Like a lot of people do when they get their own and use that as a something to invest in, that money, investment money, instead of just investing in the house. But it's cool. So I seen that, but she didn't see that. Like I see that too. And I remember a woman said, April was like, we can have an empire, but you didn't see me past that. You said I wasn't even deserving of your pussy. She said on her birthday, even though we went to see LeBron James play, like the Cavaliers played the Los Angeles Clippers at the time, and LeBron was still playing for Cleveland. It was like, no man's deserving of the pussy. And I was like, so I know I just met you. I'm not deserving, but I know like eventually, right? She wouldn't say nothing. So I'm sitting there through the whole time getting to know her. I was like, this is weird because she said a lot of things that never include me. But when I say things, I included her. Like even when the guy actually got a boyfriend, she said no. But her family knew, everybody knew about me. But I'm like, you just know that guy about me? She said, yeah, I'm talking to a guy. Like, cool. But it's like you said no, but then you wanted me. She wanted to hear what I had to say. I was like, I called her my friend. She felt a certain way. I was like, I wasn't doing that. I was like, because I didn't know what to call you because you said I wasn't your boyfriend. We didn't have ties or commitment together. What was I supposed to call you? I wasn't gonna call you more than what you was gonna call me, and that's the logic I didn't get with women. So it's still a learning. So in tradition, we taught a man supposed to be a man, but now it's like I'm in a stage of knowledge because you lied about. I'm gonna go. Got to finish it off. Voodoo is not evil. That was the name of the people that lived there. It was a civilization, and learning about the Arabs, Eric Bursuck, and they got different Arab names because they colonized their people, but they are okay with that because that's how they look. They are Yemen, they are Moroccan, they are Arabic, they are middle. Like we call them as Middle Eastern, but so whatever nationality, ethnicity that make up, they're Arabic. That's what Middle Eastern is. Indian people are. They're Arabic. So and they're Middle Eastern. So it's like they was part of the North Atlantic slave trade. You gotta remember, you get this, the North Atlantic, the Transatlantic, the Atlantic, the middle. I don't want to say Middle Eastern slave trade, The African slave trade, the regular slave trade, because it was America's slave trade, because you got to remember, a lot of settlers and explorers was already in the country. They was killing them. They just needed more. And it was more than, they said 200,000, but I keep citing my sources. It keeps saying it was over 2 million. So you can imagine how many tribes and civilizations they even came and dominated the tribes and civilizations that had kings and empresses. I call them empresses because queen, look up the word queen. I don't like the word queen. It means slutty like, and I mean untidy. You're not good. You're unworthy. That's what queen means. And so, just like the word nice means foolish. I'm not a nice. So yes, women don't like nice men because they're foolish. They're simple-minded. They're simpletons. They don't have a thought beyond that. So why they doing all of this? They taking our culture and telling it is bad, and they trying to change it. I've never seen so many people. And I'm looking at our culture. I was like, we've been doing this. I can do that with my eyes closed. I don't need to 1-2 step a song to get the rhythm down. It look like I want to flow on the beat. I want to step. I want to hit the beat. I want you to feel like I'm really like the Jabberwockies did, like I'm punching that beat. Like I'm the beat didn't create me. That's like don't let the money make you, make the money. The money didn't make me look nice. I still got to wash my clothes and iron out my stuff. I still got to go get in the shower. I still got to comb my hair and brush my teeth. So how did the clothes make me? So how did that money make me? I still got to clean up my house. I still got to be presentable to me because I am a gift from the creator. My first present is when I look in the mirror, I present it to me. If she don't like it, I don't care because you ain't messing up my psyche. They all said I'm cool. It's a song by Lecrae. Here, check. Shoes, check. A brand new press of the J's, check. She don't like me, but I'll look deep inside my psyche. When I all said, I gotta let that song, what is it called? Identity. My identity is not fixated only on the creator. But the identity of us, I remember him, even in the spirit, the spirit is not control. I am allowed to say anything and do what I want to do right now. The spirit do not control you. That's what I was trying to get to the lady talk about. The guy, if he tell me to go home, that's not control. He's the watcher over the building. I have to respect the watcher of the building. If I'm doing wrong and tell me to go home, but if I'm not, I still can. That's not control because I still have the spirit said you can challenge that. Go home, but go challenge it. Come back, go get your reports. Go ask him why I had to leave and show me why I had to leave. That's why and that's why I was like, you don't understand. So I was like, wow, I need to make a video or a topic where we can have and I don't have people hit that HR 1242. That's still going into play. I'm watching this man. He making a living off of this. He making 60,000 a year. I got to connect with him, and he using these grants alone to fund all. It's nonprofit. He's not running a business. He's not doing nothing illegal. I'm about to get my first grant in a couple of months for like 15,000, and I'm about to store this money, and nobody can do nothing about it. You know what they're gonna do? I was like, I want you on my team because that's what he's doing. He's putting men on teams because he's getting people together. So now he's teaching. I mean, he's guiding. Like this is how you do a business, but I can't tell you what to do because you still got to go do the work. He's making 60,000 a year. That's people. That's not a lot. But you're looking at 60,000 a year. But you don't know how much this man probably. I'm gonna guess. Bringing 400,000 in. He's just paying people. But he's making 60,000. That's his take home money. That's not the money he's using to make sure that his car is running. It's not a business. As long as you're using nonprofits, I can go I'm about to use this 15,000. I want to make a studio. I can make it's not a business. When I start making income, I cannot get that grant no more. I got to call them like, hey, now it's producing the income. I cannot use this grant. That's what grants is for. That's why only grants can give into you when you're not working and you don't have a great income because it's improving your life. See, nobody will look at it that way. So I want to teach this. So logic versus tradition. And if I didn't know all this, if I didn't use my logic to speak to you, I would sound very stupid for me because I want to know. It's your path. It's your choice. Please choose and choose the best. It's your choice. So choose wisely. Don't let people tell you what it should or shouldn't be. Even that tradition, like I would tell you, young people, challenge the tradition with reason, with a purpose. Like you focus on going to school, getting an education, because you know that education is valuable. Make that tradition valuable. Like I respect my mother, not because she my mother. I respect her because she also did birth me. Because within me, I see the value of the woman, the womb. I respect women. I would never punch a woman. Now, before I thought about it, I was like, she punched me, I should punch her. And I say, and a woman has punched me. I'm like, and it's funny, and I don't care what no woman say, unless I'm fighting Leela Ali, that women that know how to punch, that's kind of different. Women that really not really into fighting, but they fight, they punch me. I got punched by a manly looking woman and she was strong. I was like, her hit didn't punch me. It just bothered me that she's a woman, and my hands wouldn't allow me to hit her back. But I know she a woman. She can't take my punch like I can take her punch. Even people, I seen a woman knock a man out, but he was drunk. I never seen a man get knocked out soberly by a woman. Him like stay and fall backwards. I seen a man get slammed, but so much she didn't overpower him. She just used a technique where her balance was she overtook his balance. That's it. That's what fighting. And then people are like, why you? Until I learned balance, I wasn't able to. I was wrestling. My sister, we grew up a guy named Man and Sean. Man would make me wrestle. I didn't like that, and my sister would watch. And I don't think, and people would say that was bullying. But if you go back in our tribe days, it wasn't bullying him. I had to keep. I was like, I knew it was a purpose. Like, why they not breaking this up? And Sean was so adamant about beating me. Tom kept knocking me to the ground. He couldn't never really slam me. And then I finally got him after like it was like 13 tries because he kept doing it. And then man, he's like, y'all done. I didn't get it at first, but as I got older, man, and my sister was allowed. It wasn't even to toughen me up. I had to learn that it wasn't because of Sean. He was bigger than me and kind of stronger than me. It was the way I was going about my ways. So even a relationship, if I want love, and it's still not promised, and I'm still not saying it's gonna work. I had to use a different technique. I had to use more of my weight. So with me, I know there's a woman out there right now, and I know she probably she likes Sanaa Lathan bad. If I met Sanaa Lathan, I guarantee you Sanaa Lathan will like me for my attraction of my looks and who I am. But you know what would stop her was be my present of my money, my gift of my money now. And that would be cool because she grew up a certain type of way. I'm not mad that women like money, but I know that would be like, that would give her. But then there's women out there it wouldn't stop. And I know they bad. It's some beautiful black women out there. But until then, it's but I learned in that technique I had to use. I had to shift my weight a certain way to get the bigger guy that might have been the same strength or a little stronger than me down on the ground the way he was just throwing me around. And I finally got him and I scooped him. After that day, I was like, that's how you fight. It wasn't about that I was stronger than I got into boxing. It was not that he punched harder than me. It was how I was fighting. I was a brawler. He was a brawler. I had to make my core harder. My core was strong. Like nobody can phantom that you able to do 200 sit-ups. There's guys that can do 300 in a minute. People that do way more. They're like wow, that's fast. That's not a fascinating. It's only a sit-up. It's a sit-up. It's a crunch. It's a even though that's the hardest one after like maybe 60 or 80, you have to do 100 to get 100. So every one basically was 1 point. That's not easy. But after you do it, if you constantly you the one that's constantly being put there to keep doing crunches, you do them, and they're not doing them. Of course, want to do more. But he may be able. You already capable of doing that. So a lot of men and women, you are capable of doing what you're doing, but don't. And one thing the creator keeps showing me a vision of, I don't know why. I know why. He keeps saying, do not forget where you come from. Stop forgetting where you come from. Just because you have that money, that do not separate you or divide you. Just because you have a more of an understanding, do not separate. What separate and divide you is what keep pulling you apart. If somebody keep punching you, that's dividing you. And you telling them to stop and they won't stop, that's dividing you. That's separating you. Now, if you angry, your anger not dividing me. I'm gonna try to figure out, why are you so angry? Why are you sad all the time? Why you don't enjoy life? I enjoy life. So enjoy life. Have a great day, my brothers and sisters. You be great and watch. If I say unto one, I say unto all. You are a great man. You are a great young woman. Nobody gonna accept you as you are from the beginning. Nobody gonna treat you as you treat yourself. You just got to be great within yourself. You are the final investment. You are the final, but the creator is the author. But you have the say and the will and the power that he have gave you to do what you need to do in life and become the best you. Shalom.